Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM. We are on myjoyonline.com. We're also live in all 16 regions on KTU Radio in Kofor Radio, Lonlonyo FM in Hohoi, Radio Max in Takrady, ATL FM in Castle FM in Cape Coast. We're on Gangai FM in Jirapa. We're also live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is in partnership with Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience, and Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. This afternoon, the National Democratic Congress condemns the arrest of Collins Dowda, describing it as a malicious move by the police. It insists the MP was not involved in the clashes that took place in Kukum on Saturday.
The arrest of the Honourable Member of Parliament is totally misplaced and malicious, because the Honourable Member of Parliament was nowhere near the unfortunate incidents that happened.
Meanwhile, the National Peace Council is expressing fears of what could become of the December polls if violence of this nature is not nipped immediately.
There is no justification for spilling of blood. We should not entertain this. As the 2024 election approaches, my trepidation, my worry, my fear and anxiety has been given credence.
Also this afternoon, Minority gives government up to this Friday to revoke the appointment of the new NIB boss, or they would take drastic actions against the BOG and government in Parliament.
We would, our side, the minority side, will look at further steps if by Friday he's still in office.
We have details as they criticize the BOG for approving the nomination of the new NIB boss when in fact he's a parliamentary candidate. But Director General for SIGA, John Buedu, says the calls from the minority are without basis.
We have members of parliament who are ministers. We have some of them holding ministries that are sent. We even have a vice president who is a presidential candidate.
And debate over the relevance of the urgent recall of Parliament by the Speaker takes centre stage as both caucuses take entrenched positions.
Which of these ministers, when approved, would stop the doomsday we are having? Which of these ministers, when approved, would make the city stabilize?
Very sensitive, like the Minister of Health, no minister, no deputy minister, because we have Parliament have not been able to approve it yet. So how do you expect us to be able to give quality health?
But who takes up the cost of the recall as some MPs are out of the country?
The cost is actually largely borne by members of Parliament. You can never be reimbursed for what this cost you.
We have sports.
Ghana's Black Starlets are on a mission to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup for the first time since 2017.
And much later.
I just called to say.
Singer, songwriter, musician and record producer Stevie Wonder to be granted Ghanaian citizenship today. But why is he abandoning the US?
Because I don't want to see my children's children have to say, oh, please like me, please respect me, please know that I'm important, please value me. What kind of is that?
And that happens to be his perfect birthday gift. That and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for choosing us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. And the arrest of Collins Dowda, NDC MP for Asantehene South, has sparked anger in the NDC, with the party accusing the police of being malicious. The police arrested Collins Dowda in connection with a clash which erupted in Kukum in the Apawu region on Saturday. The NDC is denying the arrest, claiming Mr. Dowda was nowhere near Kukum that day. Before we hear from the National Communications Officer of the NDC, here are excerpts from a statement from the police announcing the arrest and issuing a warning against violence in registration centres. My colleague Kwekwa Asante joins me in studio with what the police said earlier. Walk us through it, Kwekwa.
So, nearly 24 hours ago, the police announced that they had arrested Honourable Collins Dowda and that they were pursuing others in connection with disturbances at Kukum in the Apawu region. The Ghana Police Service has arrested the Member of Parliament for Asantehene South, Honourable Alhaji Collins Dowda, for his alleged involvement in the disturbances which occurred at Kukum in the Apawu region during the ongoing limited voter registration exercise. One person sustained injury and is currently receiving treatment at the hospital. Police are in pursuit of other suspects in connection with this incident.
And they subsequently issued a warning to political actors.
Yes, the Ghana Police Service said they have enough men on the ground to arrest any person that foments trouble at any of the registration centers. They are asking political parties to direct their agents and supporters to be of good behavior.
Thank you very much, Quick Question. We know that Mr. Dauda's party members are unhappy with the police handling of the situation. National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, says the police was malicious in the arrest of the MP. According to Mr. Jemfi, even though Mr. Dauda is back to his constituency, the police conduct was unfair.
The arrest of the Honourable Member of Parliament is totally misplaced and malicious because the Honourable Member of Parliament was nowhere near the unfortunate incident that happened at the Kukum Voter Registration Center in the Funafo South constituency in the Ahavo region. As you may be aware, Honourable Collins Dauda is a Member of Parliament for the good people of Asutisi South. And at the time of that incident, in Esunafo South, a different constituency, whose MP is the Honourable Eriko Poku, Honourable Collins Dauda was busily involved in monitoring duties. And that is why it came to us as a surprise when the police issued a statement that he's been arrested for his involvement, his alleged involvement in disturbances at Kuku.
Sami, currently, do you know the whereabouts of Collins Dauda?
The Honourable Collins Dauda is currently in the City South constituency monitoring the ongoing registration exercise as expected of all our MPs and candidates in the process. Yes, we know that he was invited by the police on Sunday and told that he was under arrest. He's been granted bail since then, but we see his arrest as totally misplaced.
How's he faring? Was he charged with any crime?
In good health. Just that he's very disappointed that the police would do what they did, publish his arrest, and because he's gotten calls from loved ones from all across the world who are concerned about the publications he saw and thought that maybe he has something to do with that incident. The man was nowhere near. He has not even been to that registration center since the exercise started because the center is not in his constituency. It's in Esnafo South.
That's the NDC's communications officer there, Sami Jemfi, interacting with my colleague Mami Senior Mitchell Thompson, while the NPP is also defending itself against accusations that it was behind the arrest. We can hear Evans Nimako, Director of Elections of the NPP, speaking on the probe last night.
I don't think you've engaged the police to find out the extent of investigation they've done or they keep on conducting. And so I'll not accept for you to say that we must be ashamed. We're saying that the onus, the responsibility is on all of us to ensure that the rules of the game are complied. This is not a situation where you have Honourable for Ahafo constituency, Collins Dauda.
You see how quick you are to mention Collins Dauda, but you are not eager to accept that your party is also involved in this.
This one, the police have issued statement. People have been attacked. Physical attacks, you don't have to take that. If somebody is facilitating a minor to be registered, the law must deal with that person.
Okay.
And so it can be the same issue. But I'm saying that we can all help the situation. I think for us as New Patriotic Party, at the end of this exercise, we will come out with a position and it will help deepen our internal democracy.
That's Evans Nimako, is Director of Elections and Research of the NPP. But the Peace Council is expressing fears that the December general elections could be marred if steps are not taken to curtail the pockets of violence characterizing the registration exercise. Member of the Peace Council, Sheikh Al-Miao Shaibu, spoke on the AM show.
The spilling of blood just for this kind of limited voter registration is something that we must all discourage. There is no justification for spilling of blood. If the law allows us to really take hold of those who are violating the law, let's allow the law to take its own course. But to engage in violence is something that at the national level we must discourage. We should not entertain this. As the 2024 election approaches, my trepidation, my worry, my fear and anxiety has been given credence. That even at this stage, this is what we can see. Then I can foresee what will happen during our elections. And so all state institutions that have something to do, the security services, the election monitoring groups, the EC, the CJ, and all state institutions that have something to do with election processes in our country must begin to put their acts together.
Well, that's Sheikh Arimia Shaibu there speaking on the AM show. The Electoral Commission has meanwhile revised earlier figures on the limited voter registration exercise. My colleague Samuel Imbura joins me in studio with details from the latest figure. What does it say?
Emefa, the Electoral Commission says it has noted some mistakes in the daily voter registration figures earlier published. According to the EC, the mistakes appeared in the total registered figures stated for days 2 and 3, and although the individual regional figures were accurate, the day 3 figure for Upper East was repeated for day 4. All these have been corrected, but at the end of the 4 days, the total number of registered voters remains 143,014, with Ashanti, Greater Accra, and Central leading with the highest figures, whereas Savannah, Ahafo, and Northeast are still the regions with the lowest number of registered voters.
Thank you very much, Samuel Imbura, and we're looking forward to that press conference that will be held by the Electoral Commission here, right here on Joy News. We'll be bringing you details of that, and this is your election headquarters made possible by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, CIMA AICPA, and CIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountant, and the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness, and Beauty. We can hear from the Asantehene Otumfo say to his advice to political actors.
This year is another election year. Our political leaders are already on the campaign trail, and there's yet many months of intense and combative campaigning ahead. After all our past experiences, I remain sanguine that our democracy is safe. We need to remind ourselves that we cannot take things for granted, and we must be alert to avoid anything that has the potential to derail the electoral process. So people need the right environment in which they can make informed choices in the interest of the nation.
The Otumfo, Asantehene Otumfo, say to the second, taking us out of the election headquarters. Now, minority in Parliament is demanding the immediate revocation of the appointment of Trinebua Kodia-Fokuo as Managing Director of the National Investment Bank, NIB. The minority says government should not be appointing a person running for Parliament to head a bank that is currently struggling. Trinebua Fokuo is the NPP parliamentary candidate for Manson Kwanta in the Ashanti region. Ranking member on the Committee on Employment, Social Welfare and State Enterprises, Dr. Kwabena Donko, questioned whether the new appointment is to allow the candidate to use NIB resources to campaign.
Once he became the parliamentary candidate, he would have resigned his position to concentrate on his political work. That has not happened. How then you go ahead to elevate him to the position of managing director, chief executive of the bank 6 months into an election, and with him as a parliamentary candidate? It goes against the grain. It goes against every good judgment. Are we then saying that we are elevating him for him to use the bank's scarce resources for his campaign? Obviously, if he's going to Manson Kwanta, he will obviously, as chief executive, is entitled to 24-hour transportation. So we think the appointment is bad and it's in poor taste.
Well, Dr. Kwabena Donko has also been criticizing the BOG, which by law has the mandate to approve the appointment of persons to certain positions in banks. The minority says if the appointment of Trinebua Kodia-Fokuo as MD of NIB is not revoked by Friday, they will take immediate action.
And we believe the Bank of Ghana has failed in its duties to the people of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana Act enjoins the Bank of Ghana to approve the appointment of any director, chief executive, or principal officer of a bank. That is what the law says. How does the Bank of Ghana approve the appointment of a parliamentary candidate in May 2024 who will be contesting the election in the first week of December 2024? Well, we are being recalled for 1 day under the appropriate standing order, and therefore we would, our side, the minority side, will look at further steps if by Friday he's still in office.
That's the ranking member on the Committee on Employment, Social Welfare and State Enterprises, Dr. Kwabena Donko. But Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, John Boedu, says the calls by the minority are without basis.
Well, we are all concerned about the health of NIP. Their financial situation is not very good as we speak now. And I will entertain any argument that says that his experience and qualification is incapable of managing and restructuring NIP as we speak now. But for the mere fact that he's a parliamentary candidate begs the question, because we have members of parliament who are ministers. We have some of them holding ministries that are sensitive. We have a finance minister, who's a member of parliament, who will be going for campaign. So I think that they can further come up with other reasons rather than just a substantial election. We even have a vice president who is a presidential candidate. I think that is obviously no more than just being an MD for single entity.
That's the Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, John Bwedu. Now, the Minority Caucus in Parliament has served notice they will resist any attempt to approve a request for an additional financing agreement between Ghana and the International Development Agency for an amount of $150 million to finance the ongoing Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development GARID project, and also a request for tax exemption totaling $400 million for selected beneficiaries under the 1D1F program. The Speaker over the weekend recalled the House for an urgent sitting on Friday, May 17. Minority Chief Whip Governor Kwame Abuja tells Joy News there is no urgency about the matters not stated in the recall.
Our colleagues will also respond to Mr. Speaker's call and come to Parliament on Friday. Which of these ministers, when approved, would stop the doomsday we are having? Which of these ministers, when approved, would make the city stabilize? So yes, I agree that our colleagues have been vetted. Plenary need to take a decision on them. So when we go, hopefully, we'll have the opportunity to take a decision. If they were approved, it wouldn't have changed anything. Now that they have not been approved yet, it is not changing anything. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't be approved. Far from that. So what I'm saying is that making it look as if once these ministers are approved, doomsday will stop or the city will stop depreciating. It's not neither here nor there. When it comes to the loan, let me put this out there. The 150 million GARID loan was brought to Parliament.
Well, but Majority Chief Whip Habib Mohammed says all the issues, including the approval of the ministers already vetted by Parliament, are necessary for the smooth government running.
The approval of the ministers is very important to us. For example, if you go to the Minister of Health, the minister and all the two deputy ministers are all new. They are all part of those considering to be approved. So you have a full ministry, very sensitive, like the Minister of Health, no minister, no deputy minister, because we have Parliament have not been able to approve it yet. You go to the Minister of Gender, Children Protection, the minister and the deputy ministers are all new. Nobody have been approved yet. So how do you expect us to be able to give quality health care who's supposed to have the supervisory issues to do?
That's Habib Mohammed there, but we are told that the recall will likely last for just a day. And can the three issues go through? Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins me in studio with more on this. So at what stage are the three main issues, the minister's approval, the GARID loan and the tax waivers? And can all of them go through?
Well, the ministerial approval is just at the plenary stage now. The report has been laid. The minority were opposed to the ministerial nominees and were asking for a vote on all of them. We understood before Parliament adjourned that some agreement had been reached, and so that is that. When it comes to the tax waivers, there had been a push to get Kweku Asante, the chairman of the Finance Committee, to table this. In fact, on the last day, he was unwilling to do so. Before the House adjourned, the committee had convened at the instance of the Vice Chairman, Patrick Boama, who was seeking to get this on the floor before the Speaker of Parliament abruptly adjourned the House. So our understanding is that will be ready for the floor when it comes on Friday. And then there is also the issue of the GARID loan, where there is a disagreement because the minority on the Works and Housing Committee say they have passed so much amount of money for the Works and Housing Ministry and government to deal with the Greater Accra Resilience project and haven't really brought any more report. And so they are opposed to this. That is also at the committee stage. And so on that morning, the committee can convene and present a report to the House. All these three businesses, if Parliament is minded to, can do all that. Because normally when the House is set to go on break, they sit till the next morning and sit for so many hours.
And that's our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, but who bears the cost of this particular recall? Governor Kwame Abuja provides some answers.
sensitive to our colleagues. Let me give you an example. Normally, we should be all be aware when we are returning, so that we can encourage people to make their way wherever they are to Parliament. But as you realize, this recall the notice came over the weekend. Of course, members from both sides are outside of the country. Some are in their constituencies, so they have to be compelled by one way or the other to come back to the house. And so it is a very, very difficult one for both sides, as a matter of fact. The cost is actually largely borne by members of Parliament. You can never be reimbursed for what this costs you.
Minority Chief Whip Gavins Kwame Abuja there, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM. We are live also on myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is in partnership with Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Also by Duraplus Ghana Limited, where Duraplus goes, water flows. We return from the break with sport, and then on popular American singer-songwriter, musician and record producer Stevie Wonder. He's been granted a Ghanaian citizenship today, but why exactly is he abandoning the US?
Because I don't want to see my children's children have to say, oh, please like me, please respect me, please know that I'm important, please value me. What kind of is that?
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
Well. How is your good life?
Mine has been great, you know. My entire family and I sleep under an insecticide-treated net every night, throughout the night, and wake up feeling sound every day with absolutely no mosquito bite.
My good life has been terrific. My entire family and I, we wash our hands with soap and running water before we cook and eat, and after using the toilet, we don't play with it.
When my wife was pregnant, I accompanied her to every antenatal session. She took all her medication, ate balanced diet, and gave birth without any complications. My good life has been smooth.
Let's all come aboard Good Life and live healthy and happy. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. Good Life from Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID.
December is just around the corner and our nation stands at a crossroads. Will we continue down the same path or will we forge a new one together? The choice is ours, but we need every voice to be heard. That is why the new force is investing time and resources to educate and encourage everyone about the voters ID card registration. To all of you out there unsure if your vote matters, your voice matters. Your vote is your power and your opportunity to shape the future of our motherland. Don't let others decide for you. Don't stay silent. Get up, get out there, and get your voter's ID card today. Make sure you are ready to make a difference when the time comes. Don't delay. Act now. From the 7th to the 27th of May and on the 30th of May, you can replace all missing ID cards. Every vote counts. Your vote your destiny. A message from Nana Kwame Bediako and the New Force.
Thanks for choosing us. It's time for sports, Mubarak.
Right. Now, Ghana's Black Starlets are determined to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup for the first time since 2017. The team is currently preparing for the upcoming Waffle Zone B tournament, where the top 2 finishers will qualify for next year's AFCON. Now, Ghana is placed in Group A alongside Ivory Coast and Benin. The Starlets are full of confidence, having suffered only 1 defeat in their last 40 matches. Here's their head coach, Eli Kingston.
Since we took over the national under-17 men's team, Russia is a first loss that we faced. So for us, it was a challenge for the boys. And when they lost the game, you can see their faces that they were disappointed. In total, for us, we were very happy with the performance. With the feedback we got after the tournament was very positive all over the world. It's all preparation from Russia. The Russian tournament is teams in Europe, like against Eastern Europeans, different style, different approach. So for us, I think now, looking at the team, we are ready for the tournament.
Yep, and the tournament begins this Wednesday, May 15.
We wish them all the best. Thank you, Mubarak. Now, President Akufo-Addo has charged women judges to be fair and neutral in the discharge of their duties, as he insists the rule of law must be applied to everyone, irrespective of standing in society. Describing women judges as representing the spirit of justice and equality, President Akufo-Addo says the law must be seen as a dynamic instrument of change as Ghana works to address negative cultural practices limiting the potential of girls and women. He's been speaking at an ongoing international conference of women judges.
In Ghana, our commitment to the rule of law is steadfast. It is one that transcends political ideologies and administrations, for it is the bedrock of our democracy and the guardian of our freedoms. The rule of law means that everyone, from the ordinary citizen to the highest official of the land, is subject to the same laws. To our women judges, I say to you, let your judgments echo the principles of fairness, equality, and justice. Let them be a beacon for those in the shadows of fear and oppression. Remember, each decision you make not only affects the individual in your courtroom, but also sets a tone for what we as a society deem acceptable.
President Akufo-Addo there. Now let me take you to the Ashanti region. It was an exciting weekend. The climax of the 25th anniversary celebration of the Asantehene Otumfuo Say to the Second. Nana Boachi Dankwa Yadom has a wrap.
Akwasidae Festival is being celebrated by the Ashantis every 6 weeks. That is according to the Ashanti calendar. But it is the prerogative of the Asantehene to determine which Akwasidae he would call the Adai Kese. Well, he calls today the Adai Kese, the day he is celebrating his 25th anniversary. Dignitaries from across the world joined the Asantehene Otumfuo Say to the Second to celebrate his 25th anniversary here at Jabrim at the Menshia Palace.
Your Royal Majesty, you have consistently emphasized your commitment to the fraternal ties that link Trinidad and Tobago to Ghana. Your leadership has stimulated increased collaboration between our countries, which offer mutually beneficial trade and economic opportunities to aid in a mutual development.
Even celebrating his 25th anniversary, the Asantehene has sent a word of caution to political actors.
This year is another election year. Our political leaders are already on the campaign trail, and there's yet many months of intense and combative campaigning ahead. After all our past experiences, I remain sanguine that our democracy is safe. Nonetheless, we need to remind ourselves that we cannot take things for granted, and we must be alert to avoid anything that has the potential to derail the electoral process.
Nana Asantehene Otumfuo Say to the Second will bring you the full wrap of events over the weekend subsequently. But now let's focus on popular American musician, songwriter and record producer Stevie Wonder. And well, whilst he celebrates his birthday today, he's getting a Ghanaian citizenship today. And a lot of you have been talking about it. We focus on that. But listen to why he needs to be a Ghanaian.
I want to see this nation smile again. Oh. And I want to see it before I leave to travel to move to Ghana. Because I'm going to do that.
You're going to move permanently to Ghana?
I am.
You are? Why?
Because I don't want to see my children's children have to say, oh, please like me, please respect me, please know that I'm important, please value me. What kind of is that?
Now, you see the importance of the Ghanaian passport. Jackie is here with M&J.
Well,
people are talking about it.
Yeah, so today is also his birthday. So netizens are using his visit to Ghana as an opportunity to wish him a happy birthday. So this one says that happy birthday, Stevie Wonder, a true pioneer and a master of the synth. His innovative approach to music production and ability to blend soulful melodies with cutting-edge technology set him apart as a trailblazer. But after his citizenship was conferred on him, someone said that let him bring his US passport for my Ghana passport. So basically, for a British passport, Ghana.
Well, that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu, living word with Pastor Mensah to build the principle of gathering. Episode 1 is up next. Please to